For many years now, I've been alone. I read and I watch films. I go for a walk on my own, and obviously I take the dog for a walk. But I'm I usually keep to myself. I sometimes go into the town or into the city just to wander about and find something to do, somewhere to sit and observe people as they walk past. But I don't know how to be social because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not um, I'm not very talkative in person, but I like to watch people do things. I think to most normal people I look very scruffy. Um, Usually I have a full beard. Um, my hair is always unkempt. And I wear uh, sort of like camouflage stuff or green or black. Those are the main colours I usually wear. And I also I look like someone who's probably quite unapproachable. Eyes like a hawk and ears like a fox. I'm always hyper aware whenever I go anywhere. So I tend to keep to myself. I notice that a lot of people, when they come into the town or the city, they're not very sociable themselves, and they just want to uh, come in and do what they want to do, and then go home, and that's it. So, and some people, they don't want to speak to anybody. So I just tend to keep to myself. Uh, I would go into the library and uh, look at the books and just sit at a table and just watch people as they walk around the library, and I don't really know how to be social. I'm stuck in my sort of routine now, set in my ways, and there's not really much I can do to change it. So I'd go into the library and I'd just observe people, or I'd read a book or something like that. And there was a woman there, a woman working there, a librarian there, and she was mid-20s, and she noticed me, and she noticed me always in there quite regularly and always on my own. After a long, long time, one day she just decided to approach me and speak to me. She was very friendly and very talkative, and if there wasn't any work for her to do, she would come and sit with me and talk to me about things.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't say much, do you?
No, I guess not.
And we'd sort of, I was kind of a little bit defensive when it came to women because of my experiences. My previous experiences had led me to be that way. I remember travelling quite far to visit this girl, and and I quickly caught on that she was only interested in seeing me for money. So whenever a woman approaches me or is friendly towards me, unfortunately, I tend to become quite suspicious, and I assume the worst. But this librarian was actually a nice, genuine person. We gradually got to know each other. I came in now and then, and when we saw each other, we'd talk about things, and it turned out she was very much into films, and I would recommend a film, and we'd talk about different films and all that sort of thing. I noticed that she was dressed very conservatively. She wasn't covered in hideous tattoos. She didn't have dyed green hair. She wasn't trans or whatever. She seemed normal and quite old-fashioned. She didn't seem to have social media because, well, nowadays, whenever you talk to a woman and you don't have social media, they instantly get put off. I think that's personally very strange, but that's just how it is now. But she said, no, I don't have any social media. No, I've got no interest in anything like that. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, I was impressed with her knowledge about certain things, and she was also interested in learning about certain things she wasn't particularly familiar with. I found that very intriguing. I recommended to her films like Funny Games, The Lighthouse, or Enemy. Those are not exactly normie movies. Those are not exactly, they're a little bit more obscure for normies. And I was impressed that she knew exactly what I was talking about. So, yeah, every time I'd come into the library, I'd talk to her and give her some film recommendations and all that sort of thing. And my sort of dry sense of humour would make her laugh a few times. And so, yeah. But it never occurred to me that I could pursue some kind of romantic relationship with this woman. It just wasn't in my mind. I just never thought about it. I just thought, I'd come in, chat to her, and then go home. For some reason, I just never thought about it. But it turned out very much interested in me and very much interested in pursuing a relationship with me. But even how to pursue that kind of relationship, I really don't know where to begin. Other to be blunt and ask about certain things. I know that some people like to be touchy-feely and all that sort of thing, and it's not that I don't want to do that, but I prefer to respect people's personal space. So if we went out somewhere, I would make sure to, I don't know, keep a respectable distance from that person. So what I'm saying is, if things were to escalate in a certain way, I think that she would have to be the one to make the move, right? But anyway, I um, I was completely socially retarded, right? At the time, I didn't recognize her interest in me, right? Um, I now realize that it was an opportunity that I failed to pursue. And I absolutely should have done, because she was really quite perfect. But so she said to me, she just suddenly one day just asked me if I wanted to go out for a drink, and I said, yeah, sure, because in my brain, right, I'm thinking, oh, we're just going out as friends, and it just it didn't occur to me at the time that this could potentially be a romantic relationship. It just didn't occur to me, and I met her after she finished working, and then we walked over to this bar, and we had a few drinks, and we went to see some live music and all that sort of thing, and I we spoke about things, movies and all that sort of thing, and I'd show pictures of my dog, and she really loved my dog and stuff. But I recognise now what my main issue was. I was very emotionally distant, and whatever opportunity that I had was gone after this night. Um, I feel, she made her mind up on this night. Um, we had a good time, but I didn't sort of progress it. I didn't push it any further, you know. And then I I was going home on the bus, and then it occurred to me, she asked me out, you know. She asked me out. She's interested, and I picked up on a few moments where I think she was being flirtatious, but I never reciprocated her kind of, you know, her interest. And it occurred to me, and I thought, okay, all right, next time I see her, I'll say to her, I'll be the one to ask her out, you know. I'll say to her, "You want to go see a movie? You know, we like movies. Let's go see a movie." Um, and if you want to come back to mine and meet my dog, you're more than welcome to. So so the next time I come and to the library and I saw her, um, it was perfectly fine. And then I asked her, and I said, "We be up for? We were actually we would be up for coming out again?" You know, we want to go see a film or something. And she said, no, I'm busy at the moment. I'm busy. And that's when I knew that whatever opportunity that was presented to me is now completely gone. Right. Um, you know, this is now no, not going to happen. Right. She made her mind up on the night. I think I I blew it. Basically, I blew it, and she was really quite perfect. And also, when do you ever in life, when will you ever come across a girl who asks you out, right? When will that ever happen again? Probably never, you know? Yeah, it was, yeah, failure. Yeah. So I came back a bit, you know, I come back like a week later, I think, and she told me that she was now seeing somebody, and she said, I'm seeing this new bloke, and I said, oh right, well, good for you. And he was like mid 50s or something, and I thought, oh okay, well, yeah, good for you. But you know, I think about it, and that could have been me. Men have it so difficult. Well, women don't have those same difficulties. They don't have those same problems, right? Uh, if a man, you know, a man struggles to find somebody, but like her, she can just go off and find someone else almost immediately, right? And she said she doesn't really have that many friends. She said she doesn't really go out that often, and doesn't really socialize. But obviously, she doesn't have any difficulty finding another man um, almost instantly. You know, it's just how things work, isn't it? It's just how it works. But yeah, that was a wasted opportunity. Mm. Yeah, I just felt like sharing that.